Hey, welcome to World Entertainment, and we have a big update regarding Cliffhanger 2 and Sylvester Stallone. Now, this is the confirmation that Stallone will not be in this movie at all, in any way. But we are now being given the actual reasoning for his absence, and it's actually quite interesting because it's not the case of, well, he just had other commitments. There's a lawsuit being put through for this, so let's dive into this because this is crazy. So Hollywood icon and action legend Sylvester Stallone will not return for the upcoming reboot of one of his most beloved 90s action hits. And now we know why. After years in development and with tenuous plans in place to bring Stallone back, the new Cliffhanger movie will instead replace the Rambo star with former James Bond star Pierce Brosnan. And the new lawsuit has revealed why Stallone won't return as Ranger Gabe Walker 32 years later. Now, the thing about it is, some of the story for the movie is the same. That the character that Pierce Brosnan is playing, that was going to be Stallone's character. That was going to be Gabe, where he ends up getting kidnapped. So he wasn't going to be the main star anyway, which also is an issue that comes up in this. It was going to be focused on the daughter. Now, they've kept kind of that angle. It's still the female. Don't know whether or not she's still meant to be playing his daughter or not, but she will still be the main person that you're following. And Pierce Brosnan and someone else, I can't remember who, gets kidnapped by the new terrorists or whatever, and she has to go and rescue them. So original Cliffhanger producer Neil Mortiz has now filed a lawsuit against the financiers behind the upcoming reboot, claiming that Rocket Science Industries has reneged on an agreement to pay him a $2.5 million producer fee. Via Variety, Mortiz has reportedly been trying to get Cliffhanger 2 off the ground for 15 years and, alongside his partner Toby Jaffe, spent years lining up talent for the film and negotiated a deal for Stallone to star as the male lead. Stallone was on board with the idea of a sequel, with plans put in place to film the action movie back in 2023. However, due to conflicts with the Taylor Sheridan series Tulsa King, in which Stallone plays the lead, things were pushed back, with the action star agreeing to make the follow-up so long as his fee was guaranteed up front. So, it says here, but Rocket Science failed to secure Stallone's commitment to do the picture because it refused to guarantee Stallone's fee, the lawsuit states. So, according to the report, sizzle reels featuring Stallone were created, but after the studio failed to secure Stallone in the lead, Angel Has Fallen director Rick Roman Wyatt walked away from the picture, with plain director Jean, however the hell you pronounce his name, doing the same later after Stallone's scheduling conflict with Tulsa King, and the lack of a guarantee meant that he was out. So you're seeing they were losing directors over Stallone not being on board with this. So further details revealed the studio was eyeing Gladiator star Russell Crowe to take over from Stallone, but when he dropped out, so did the project's latest director, Carry On's Germaine Colette Seri, I think, or probably butchered that. Securing Baby Driver's Lily James in the lead, who remains the reboot's lead, Mortiz and Jaffe were asked to defer all their producing fees in May of 2024. According to the claim, with Rocket Science executives explaining that they were experiencing budget problems, partly because the loss of Stallone meant lower guarantees for pre-sales. So they're basically trying to say, we don't want to pay you because we were dumb enough not to actually tie down Stallone. So this is what this says. Although the deferral of producer fees occasionally take place in connection with making independent motion pictures, it is highly unusual for requests to be made to a producer of Mortiz's stature to defer the entirety of the producer's fee. The problem with the deferral of producer fees is not just that the producer gets paid later than he or she was supposed to be paid, but deferral may result in the producer never getting the full agreed upon fee, or possibly not even any portion of the fee. So to sum it up, the reason we won't see the 79-year-old Sylvester Stallone rappel down a mountain again is that age-old factor, money. Instead, the Cliffhanger reboot will star Pierce Brosnan and Lily James as father and daughter Ray and Naomi Cooper, who find themselves ambushed by a gang of kidnappers during a weekend mountain excursion with the son of a billionaire. And it says the new Cliffhanger is scheduled to be released on August 28, 2026. So it was the case of they didn't want to pay any of these people their guaranteed fees, which is insane. And when you think like the producer fee was on, now I'm not sure whether the producer fee is the 2.5 or whether Stallone was looking for the 2.5 million. Either way, a number like 2.5 million for these type of movies, to think that they're like, yeah, we don't want to pay you that, we don't want to really honor that agreement. Any chance you could not take the money? Are you shitting me? Or what do they do if they put the movie out and it was a massive success even without Stallone? Then what do they do? You've just asked the producers, hey, could you forgo getting paid for this? And then what? The movie could blow up and they go, oops, oh well, you reneged on it, so we don't have to pay you. It's weird. But by the way, there's confirmation that this character of Lily James and Pierce Brosnan will be father-daughter, because that was meant to be the way it was going to be with Stallone in it. That and I think it was still meant to be Lily James at that stage. I'm not sure, can't remember, but it was meant to be the daughter of Gabe, and Gabe gets kidnapped and held hostage on the mountain, and she has to be the rescuer. So it's not like he was going to have this massive role really in it, and Pierce Brosnan was kind of a last minute addition. But yeah, the fact that this movie now has a lawsuit being filed against it because they are refusing pretty much to pay, not Stallone, because Stallone didn't do the movie, but the producers, is like insane. And the fact that Stallone was like, hey look, I got this other commitment, we've already moved it, any chance you can pay up front, guarantee me, and we'll get to work as soon as I'm finished with this. And they went, no. And now their issue is they're literally looking at the producers and stuff, supposedly, and saying in court documents, by the looks of it, to say, yeah, look, we had a massive budget problem because we're not guaranteed that this movie would do well because we were so dumb not to actually lock down Stallone for the movie. Even though that may not have worked in their favour either, being the fact that once people saw, oh, it's girl boss type of movie, he has to get rescued by the young girl, I think people would have turned against it. But it is stupid that they have let this happen. It is stupid that they are doing a Cliffhanger 2 without Stallone. This thing could end up being one of those, it's called Cliffhanger 2, and we still end up at some stage getting another Cliffhanger 2, if you like, with Stallone. I doubt that at this stage, but God only knows. But there you go, folks. That's why Stallone ain't going to be in this movie, because the producers were, or I should say the financiers were so stupid that they did not want to guarantee his services by paying him, and now they're looking not to pay the producers. Lawsuit incoming. So let me know what you think about all this, and do you even care at this stage about Cliffhanger 2, especially without Stallone? Do let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.